The wind. It's a thing, isn't it? Up here, 40 stories high, it tries to rip the hair from my scalp, tries to push me back from the edge. But I'm holding on to this thing, this holographic tablet. Millions, they say it's worth. Vertex Enterprises' shiny new baby. My baby, actually, though they don't know that. Or rather, they forgot. Below, the city lights are a blur, made even more so by the flashing red and blue. They're coming for me. Good. Let them. I want them to see this. I take a breath, a surprisingly steady one, and I let the tablet go. It's a graceful fall, almost beautiful, catching the city lights as it tumbles end over end. Then, smash. A glittering explosion on the pavement. It's done. The roof access door bursts open. Security. Finally. They're shouting, but the wind steals their words. It doesn't matter. I know what they're saying. Tell Mr. Vertex, I say, my voice loud, cutting through the wind, that Eliza Harlow sends her regards. I turn, a smile spreading across my face. It feels liberating. The handcuffs are cold. They're rough, these guards, all accusations and angry grunts. One of them, a burly guy with a face like a crumpled paper bag, keeps calling me Miss. Just Miss. 5 years I've worked here. 5 years, and he doesn't know my name. It's a special kind of insult, that. The kind that chips away at you until there's almost nothing left. They're dragging me, down through the building I know better than my own skin, down to security. And as the sterile scent of the service elevator fills my nostrils, I'm back to this morning. This morning. It started like any other day of being invisible. I walked into the gleaming lobby of Vertex Enterprises, the air already buzzing with a manufactured importance. My badge, my actual official employee badge, was, well, who knows where it was. Demagnetized again, probably, or maybe I just misplaced it. It happened a lot. So I went to the reception desk, the same one I'd been to twice already this month. Morning, Sarah, I said. Or at least I thought her name was Sarah. She had one of those perpetually pleasant blank faces. Can I help you? She asked, not looking up from her screen. Eliza Harlow, I need a temporary badge. Again. Her fingers tapped on the keyboard. A frown creased her smooth forehead. Harlow, Eliza, more tapping. Are you sure you're in the system? I just stared at her. 5 years. Yes, I'm sure. Finally, a flicker of recognition, or maybe just exasperation. Oh, there you are. One moment. She printed it out, a flimsy piece of plastic. And there it was in big, bold, accusing red letters. Visitor. Not Eliza Harlow, not even employee, just visitor. Like I was a stranger, an outsider, which I guess I was. I clipped it on, the red, a stark contrast to my gray blouse. In my cubicle, a tiny box in a sea of identical boxes, the usual morning chatter was punctuated by something new. Celebration. I could hear snippets of it from the next pod over. Amazing work, someone said. Vertex is going to love this. They were talking about the holographic tablet. My tablet. The one I'd poured my soul into for the last 18 months. There was talk of drinks, of a special presentation. I wasn't invited. My name, I knew without even having to check the final presentation draft I'd seen Marcus sneakily editing, wouldn't be mentioned. Marcus, my supervisor. He had a way of looking right through me, of calling me Elizabeth. Always Elizabeth, no matter how many times I corrected him. Elizabeth, great job on those initial specs. He'd boom in meetings, then proceed to present my work as his own brilliant idea. He was a master of appropriation, a connoisseur of stolen credit. Lunchtime, the cafeteria, a cacophony of voices, of clattering trays and forced laughter. I sat alone, as usual. It was like I had a force field around me, repelling human interaction. I watched them, all the little groups, the easy camaraderie. How do they do it? How did they make themselves seen? A flicker of hope. Devin, a new hire, all bright-eyed and eager, actually sat down opposite me. Hi, he said, a genuine smile. Mind if I join you? Everywhere else is packed. Go ahead, I managed, my voice rusty from disuse. He started to say something, ask about my work maybe, but then a shadow fell over the table, one of Marcus's sycophants. Hey, Devin, Marcus is looking for you. And, you might not want to sit there. Well, we call her the ghost. He smirked. Devin looked confused, then embarrassed. He mumbled an apology and scurried away. The ghost. That's what I was. I'd dedicated 5 years of my life, my actual tangible beating heart life, to this company. I wasn't a genius maybe, but I was brilliant. I knew I was. I solved problems they couldn't. I built things they only dreamed of. And for what? To be a ghost? To be erased? It wasn't just one thing, it was everything. A systematic dismantling of my existence here. Every forgotten name, every stolen idea, every condescending pat on the head. It had built up, layer by layer, until I was suffocating. The final straw. It always comes down to that, doesn't it? One tiny thing that breaks the already overloaded camel's back. I'd been looking for an old email, a technical query I'd answered months ago, and there it was, an email chain. Not to me, of course, between Marcus and the legal team. Discussing the patent for the holographic tablet, my tablet, under his name, only his name. A revolutionary step forward for Vertex, spearheaded by Marcus Thorne. No mention of Eliza Harlow, not a whisper. My blood ran cold, then hot, a roaring fire in my veins. I printed the email chain, every single damning word. I went to the lab, my lab, the one where I'd practically lived for the past year. I took the prototype, the real one, not the slightly buggy version Marcus was planning to present as his own. And then I went to the roof. And here we are, back in the service elevator, the scent of betrayal thick in the air. Or maybe that's just the cheap disinfectant. The security office. It's all beige and bad lighting. Like a place where souls go to wither. Mr. Henderson, the company's chief legal counsel, is there. He's got that look. The one that says, you are a very small, very insignificant bug, and I am about to squash you. Miss Harlow, he begins, his voice smooth like oil slicks on water. You understand you're facing criminal charges? Destruction of company property. Millions of dollars, Miss Harlow, millions. I'm calm. It's a weird feeling, like I'm watching this happen to someone else. I reach into my bag, the one they haven't taken from me yet, and pull out the printed emails. I lay them on the table. This tablet, I say, my voice even, was my design, my intellectual property. Your star supervisor, Marcus Thorne, was planning to steal it. It's all there. The executives in the room, a collection of expensive suits and worried expressions. They try to bluster. They try to dismiss it. Preposterous, one of them sputters. A disgruntled employee. I've already sent copies, I interrupt, enjoying the way their faces tighten. To several prominent tech journalists, and a couple of rather excellent patent attorneys. They seemed very interested. Then he arrives. Richard Vertex himself, the big man, the legend. He's older than I expected, his face a roadmap of stress and power. He looks at me, really looks at me, for the first time ever, and he says my name, my actual name. Eliza, he says, his voice a low growl. You think you're clever, don't you? You think this will get you somewhere? He leans forward, his eyes like chips of ice. No one will hire you after this, Eliza. You'll be nothing. We'll make sure of it. A threat, not a dismissal, a threat. That's something, I guess. The escort out is a blur, my sad little box of belongings, a withered plant, a chipped mug, a few technical manuals. My ID badge, the one that rarely worked, is confiscated with a grim finality. As I walk through the lobby, the same lobby where I was a visitor this morning, I hear the whispers. That's her, someone says. The tablet girl. So I have a new name now, not Eliza, not the ghost. The tablet girl. It's an improvement, I suppose. Home. My apartment. Sparse is a kind word for it. It's a place to sleep, mostly. A place to be alone with my thoughts. And right now, my thoughts are not good company. They spiral. Back. Childhood. The forgotten middle child. Always quiet. Always in the background. Smart, yes, the teacher said so. But never one to make a fuss. Picked last for everything. Sports, group projects, even birthday party invitations seem to get lost in the mail. It's a pattern, isn't it? My whole life, a masterclass in being overlooked. My phone starts ringing. Tech journalists, they want the story, the juicy details, the David versus Goliath narrative. Then, other calls, no caller ID, heavy breathing, vague threats. Vertex's tendrils reaching out. I stare at my laptop, my online presence. It's pathetic. A few blurry photos from college. A LinkedIn profile that Marcus probably wrote. It's like I barely exist in the digital world either. A ghost in the machine, a ghost everywhere. Sleep is impossible. So I do what I always do when the world gets too loud. I code. I take the core of my tablet design, the beautiful, elegant architecture of it, and I start building something new. Something bigger, more ambitious. A digital identity verification system. Something that makes it impossible to be erased, impossible to be forgotten. A way to anchor yourself in the world, digitally, immutably. Morning light, gray and unforgiving, seeps through the cheap blinds. I'm exhausted, my eyes burn, an email pings. Vertex's lawyers, a settlement offer, an NDA, shut up money, go away money. At the same time, I see the headlines. The first wave of articles. They're spinning it, unhinged, unstable. Disgruntled employee destroys valuable prototype in fit of rage. They're erasing me again, even as they're talking about me. There's a bottle of pills in the bathroom cabinet, sleeping pills, left over from a particularly bad bout of insomnia last year. There's also a half-empty bottle of cheap whiskey in the kitchen. It's a cliche, I know, but right now cliches feel appropriate. There's no way out, is there? They'll crush me. I'll be the crazy tablet girl forever, erased, completely and utterly. I swallow the pills. The whiskey burns going down. It's a relief, almost, to just stop, to let go. I slide down to the floor, the cheap linoleum cold against my cheek. And then, nothing. It's not darkness, not exactly. It's a place, a state. I'm not dead, I don't think. But I'm not alive either. I'm just floating, and they're here, all of them. The ones who forgot, the ones who erased me. Marcus, his face smug, even in this strange, ethereal realm. The receptionist still asking if I'm in the system. The kids from school, their faces turning away as teams are picked. My parents, their attention always focused on my louder, brighter siblings. They drift past like smoke, their whispers a constant murmur of my forgotten name. Then it appears. Or they appear. It's never the same. Sometimes a child, small and curious. Sometimes an old woman, her eyes holding ancient secrets. Sometimes just a voice, genderless, timeless. Being forgotten, the entity says, its voice a chorus of all the forms it takes, is a kind of power if you know how to use it. I don't understand. Power? I feel powerless, utterly. They underestimate you, it continues. They don't see you coming. You can move undetected. You can observe. You can learn. The limbo shifts. Scenes play out around me, surreal and disjointed. Me arguing with Marcus, trying to claim my work, my voice getting smaller and smaller until it's just a squeak. Me sitting alone at that cafeteria table, the longing for connection, a physical ache. Me staring at my reflection, wondering who that fated person is. It's all about being seen, isn't it? My whole life, a desperate plea. Look at me. Remember me. I exist. The entity shows me futures, glimpses. One is just gray. Nothingness. Me completely vanished. Erased, as Vertex promised. Another is lurid and sensational. The crazy tablet girl, a footnote in tech history, a cautionary tale. My face, wild-eyed and desperate, plastered across supermarket tabloids. And then there's another. A different path. Me transforming. Taking this invisibility, this forgottenness, and turning it into something else. Something strong. The code, the entity says, its form shifting into a constellation of glowing symbols. The work you were doing. Before this. It gestures to my current state, the ethereal limbo. It has potential, more than you imagined. A way to rewrite the rules, a way for no one to be erased, ever again. Revolutionize digital identity. Create a system where every contribution, every idea, Every person is anchored, immutable, unforgettable. The thought sparks something in me, a tiny ember in the vast emptiness. Why? The entity asks, its voice suddenly soft, almost gentle. It's the child form now, looking at me with wide, knowing eyes. Why do you want to be remembered, Eliza? And the answer, when it comes, surprises me. It's not about me anymore. Not really. It's not about my name in lights or my face on a magazine cover. It's about them. All the other ghosts, all the other forgotten ones. The ones who never had a chance to fight back. The ones whose brilliance was snuffed out before it could even flicker. I don't want anyone to feel what I felt. That crushing weight of non-existence. I choose to go back, I say, my voice stronger now, echoing in the strange space. I choose to build it. A new purpose, not for fame, not for revenge exactly, but for justice, for fairness, for a world where everyone has a voice and everyone is seen. The entity smiles, a slow, ancient smile that seems to encompass all its forms. The path will be difficult, it warns. Coming back will be painful. They will fight you. They will try to erase you again. I feel a pull, a physical sensation, pain, sharp, searing pain. The sounds of the limbo are fading, replaced by beeping voices, harsh, real-world sounds. As I'm pulled away, back towards the living, the entity's voice whispers one last time, a promise and a prophecy. They will all wear your name one day, Eliza. They will all wear your name. Then light, blinding, and pain. So much pain, I gasp, my lungs burning. My eyes flutter open. A hospital room, white walls, the smell of antiseptic, and a face. Devin, the new hire, the one who sat with me for a fleeting moment in the cafeteria. He's here, waiting, looking worried. Eliza, he says, his voice hesitant. You're awake. He explains in a rush how he found me. He'd been worried when I didn't answer his messages about the tablet story breaking. He'd come to my apartment, he'd called for help, he saved my life. The boy who was warned away from the ghost, he remembered, the hospital. It's a place of forced reflection and pain. Lots of pain. My throat feels like I swallowed sandpaper. My head throbs. But I'm alive. That's the main thing. Alive. And with a clarity I've never had before. Devin is a rock. He visits every day, fills me in. Vertex isn't just threatening to erase me, they're actively doing it. Smear campaign in full swing. I'm not just unstable, I'm a technology thief. They're claiming I stole their prototype. The audacity is breathtaking. I quit, Devin tells me one afternoon, his jaw set. After I saw what they were doing to you, after I dug around a little, I couldn't stay there. He hands me a flash drive. I made some copies before I left. Emails, internal memos, design specs. Stuff that proves the tablet was yours, all yours. Bless Devin, the quiet ones. Sometimes they're the ones with the most steel in their spines. Then, more bad news. My apartment, broken into while I was indisposed. My computer's gone, wiped clean probably. Vertex's thugs, no doubt. Trying to destroy any evidence I might have had left. They're thorough, I'll give them that. But they're not as smart as they think. They missed the book. The old, hollowed-out copy of Gödel, Escher, Bach, where I kept my encrypted backups. My real work, the core of Mnemosyne, named after the Greek goddess of memory. Fitting, I thought. Getting out of the hospital is like being born again, weak and blinking in the harsh light of the world. Devin helps me find a cheap motel, the kind with questionable stains on the carpet and a flickering neon sign outside. It's a world away from Vertex's gleaming tower, but right now, it's a sanctuary. I get to work. With Devin's help, his surprising knowledge of network security, and a cobbled-together collection of borrowed and refurbished hardware, I start rebuilding. Not just rebuilding what I had, but improving it. Infusing it with the lessons from the limbo. Mnemosyne. It's more than just an identity verification system now, it's a fortress. 2 key innovations. That's what the entity showed me. First, it makes identity theft virtually impossible. A multi-layered, bio-linked, constantly evolving cryptographic signature, unbreakable, or as close to it as humanly possible. Second, and this is the revolutionary part, it creates an immutable distributed ledger of contributions and interactions. Every piece of code written, every design element finalized, every idea shared, all of it time-stamped, attributed, and locked in. No more erased names, no more stolen credit. Your work, your identity, your history, yours forever. I changed too. Not just my circumstances, but me. The drab clothes, the hesitant manner, the apologetic stoop, they start to fall away. I cut my hair, I buy a new pair of glasses, ones that make me look formidable. There's a fire in my eyes now, a confidence I never knew I possessed. I'm still Eliza, deep down, but I'm also someone new, someone who's been to the edge and back, someone with a purpose. Devin, bless his loyal heart, has a cousin, runs a small tech incubator, the kind of place that thrives on disruptive ideas and underdog stories. He's willing to meet me. Despite Vertex's best efforts to blacklist me, the crazy tablet girl reputation precedes me. But Devin's cousin, a woman named Anya, with eyes that see right through the bullshit, is intrigued. The incubator is a chaotic, vibrant space, full of people like me, the forgotten ones, innovators whose ideas were too radical, or who didn't play the political games, or who just didn't fit the mold. People who were pushed out, shut down, erased. They're all here, nursing their bruised dreams, looking for a second chance. Anya gathers them, a small crowd, maybe 20 people, in a cluttered conference room. They look at me with a mixture of curiosity and skepticism. I take a deep breath. I plug in my battered laptop, and I start to talk. I tell them about Vertex, about being forgotten, about Marcus, about the tablet. I tell them about the limbo, the entity, the vision, and then I show them mnemosiny. And for the first time in my life, when I speak, everyone listens. They don't just hear the words, they feel them. They understand, because they've lived it too. By the time I finish, the skepticism is gone, replaced by something else, hope, excitement. Eliza Harlow, Anya says, a slow smile spreading across her face. I think we're going to remember that name. And in that room, surrounded by the forgotten, for the very first time, I feel like I've finally been found. 1 year. It feels like a lifetime and also, somehow, like yesterday. Mnemosiny is now Harlow identity. My name. Up in lights, metaphorically speaking. For now, it's stenciled on the door of a converted warehouse in a less than glamorous part of town. But it's ours, me, CEO. My band of forgotten innovators, my founding team. We're still scrappy, still fueled by caffeine and conviction. But we're growing, fast. My management style, let's just say it's not Vertex. Every contribution meticulously credited, every voice heard, radical transparency. It's chaotic sometimes, it's challenging, but it works. People feel seen, they feel valued, because they are. Our first clients. Small businesses tired of being ripped off. Individual content creators desperate to protect their work from the digital vultures. Artists, writers, musicians. They flock to Harlow identity. We give them a way to plant their flag, to prove ownership, to build a verifiable legacy. Then, the freelancers, the gig workers, the invisible backbone of the new economy. They use Harlow identity to create work histories that can't be erased by fickle platforms or exploitative employers. A digital resume that tells the real story of their skills and experience. It's empowering, it's revolutionary. Devin, he's my right hand, my rock, head of client relations. He's got a knack for it. That quiet empathy of his, it works wonders. He calms frayed nerves, builds trust, makes people believe. While he's out there, charming the world, I'm in the back, lost in code, pushing mnemosiny further, making it smarter, stronger, more resilient. Vertex. Oh, Vertex. They launched a competing product. A pale imitation, rushed, flawed. Security experts are having a field day picking it apart. Richard Vertex, he's been making statements. Dismissing Harlow identity. Amateur, a flash in the pan. He sounds nervous, fixated. It's almost amusing. The offers start coming in. Big tech companies. They see the potential. They want a piece of it. One offer, it's staggering. enough zeros to make my head spin, enough money to make all my problems disappear. I think about it for about 5 seconds. Then I say no. This isn't about money, not anymore. This is about the mission, the breakthrough. It comes, as breakthroughs often do, when we least expect it. A social media platform, one of the big ones, they want to integrate Harlow identity, verification for all their users, a way to combat fake accounts to ensure authenticity, to protect creators, millions of users. Overnight, we're in the warehouse, the whole team huddled around a speakerphone. Anya, Devin, me, the forgotten ones, listening as the deal is confirmed. There's a moment of stunned silence. Then someone whoops. And then the place erupts. We're not just a scrappy startup anymore. We're a force. I look at Devin and he's grinning, that rare wide grin that lights up his whole face. "You did it, Eliza," he says. "You really did it." Maybe I did, or maybe we did, all of us, the ones who refused to stay forgotten. 2 years. 2 years since I stood on that rooftop, ready to let it all fall away. Now Harlow Identity isn't just a company. It's a standard. Harlow Verified. It's a phrase people use, a mark of trust, a symbol of authenticity in the digital wilderness. It's surreal. The invitation arrives on heavy cardstock. Keynote speaker at the annual Global Tech Summit, the same conference where Vertex, my old alma mater of misery, will be showcasing their latest, well, whatever it is they're peddling these days. The irony is not lost on me. At the preparations for the conference, they're a whole different world now. I have a team, a small, efficient, fiercely loyal team. They handle my schedule. They remember my coffee order, black, 2 sugars. Some things never change. They make sure my name is spelled correctly on everything. They ensure I'm credited properly for my work. It's a strange and wonderful thing to be so thoroughly remembered. The conference is a blur of faces, handshakes, and fluorescent lights. Former Vertex employees, people who wouldn't have given me the time of day back then, they approach me now, tentative, eager, looking for jobs. Some of them, I swear, I walked past their cubicles for 5 years and they never once made eye contact. Now they see me. Funny that. And then Marcus, my former supervisor, the architect of my erasure. He approaches me near the catering table, a strained smile plastered on his face. "Eliza," he says, his voice oozing a false familiarity. "So good to see you thriving. I always knew you had potential." I look at him, really look at him, and I feel nothing, just a faint, distant pity. "Marcus," I say, my voice cool, professional. "Thank you." And I turn away. Dismissed. It's a surprisingly satisfying feeling. My keynote. The room is packed, hundreds of faces looking up at me. I take a breath and I tell my story, the real story. Not the sanitized corporate version, not the bitter, angry version. Just the truth about being forgotten, about being erased, and about how that led to Harlow Identity. I connect it to the bigger picture, to credit, to recognition, to the fundamental human need to be seen, to be acknowledged, to own your own story. The applause, when it comes, is overwhelming. But something else is happening too. My phone on the podium is buzzing. Devin, in the front row, is looking at his own phone, his eyes wide. News is breaking. During my speech, Vertex Enterprises, under investigation, intellectual property theft, based on evidence that has emerged from their own systems. Evidence that was tagged, preserved, and made immutable by an early experimental version of mnemosiny, a little side project I'd been working on back in my ghost days to track my own contributions. I'd almost forgotten about it. But mnemosiny hadn't. Richard Vertex finds me backstage. He's not looking so legendary now. He looks old and angry. "You," he snarls. "This is your doing. You orchestrated this." I meet his gaze. Calmly. It's amazing what happens when people can't erase their actions anymore, isn't it, Mr. Vertex? I don't confirm. I don't deny. I just let the truth hang in the air. The conference ends with an awards ceremony. Harlow Identity wins the Innovation Award. I go up on stage, but I don't go alone. I bring my whole team with me. Anya, Devin, All the founding members, the forgotten ones, now standing in the spotlight. I make sure each one of them is named. Each one of them is recognized, because that's what we're about. Later, there's an open house event at Vertex. Some kind of desperate PR move, I guess. I find myself drawn there, a strange compulsion. I walk through the familiar halls, a visitor again, but this time by choice. I find my old cubicle. It's empty now, waiting for the next anonymous cog. I'm wearing a badge, a guest badge for the event. It has my name on it, Eliza Harlow, prominently displayed. A young receptionist new since my time looks up as I pause by my old desk. "Can I help you, miss?" she asks, that familiar blank politeness. "Are you lost?" I smile, a real smile. "No," I say, "not anymore." And I move on. 5 years since the rooftop. Harlow Identity is now Harlow Enterprises, a global tech giant. Our logo, that stylized H I sketched on a napkin in that cheap motel, it's everywhere. On devices, on websites, a universal trust marker, like a digital good housekeeping seal of approval. It's astounding. Me? I'm Eliza Harlow, tech mogul. That's what the business magazines call me when they put my face on their covers. It still feels weird. I'm still the girl who ate lunch alone, who couldn't get them to remember her name. But now I'm a powerful figure, known for ethical tech, for proper attribution, for changing the game. The impact. That's the thing that gets me. We see it in a little ways every day. A young programmer, her name front and center on a breakthrough app, thanks to our attribution protocols. A content creator, his viral video locked down, untraceable, unstealable, because it's Harlow verified. A whistleblower, her evidence preserved, immutable, because our system protects her identity and the integrity of her data. We're not just a company, we're a shield, a voice for the voiceless. Vertex Enterprises, a shadow of its former self. Richard Vertex resigned in disgrace after the investigation. The company was carved up, sold off. It's just a division of some faceless conglomerate now. Its brand tarnished, its legacy a warning. Devin, my loyal Devin, is co now. He walks into my office, my very large, very real office, with a grin. "Guess what?" he says. "We got it." "Got what?" "The Vertex building, the old headquarters. It was on the market. We bought it." The building where I was a ghost. The building I was frog-marched out of in handcuffs. It's going to be our new global headquarters. There's a certain poetry to that, isn't there? We're already drawing up plans. The roof, where it all began. Where I dropped that tablet and set this whole crazy chain of events in motion. It's going to be a collaborative innovation space. A garden, maybe. A place for new ideas to bloom. But with great power, you know the rest. New challenges. Competitors, always looking for loopholes, for ways to break our systems. Governments, wary of our influence, wanting to regulate, to control. The weight of it all, the responsibility, it's immense. Sometimes late at night, when the office is quiet, I feel it pressing down on me. And sometimes the entity comes back. In dreams, mostly. Or maybe it's just exhaustion, playing tricks on my mind. That shifting form, that timeless voice. It doesn't offer easy answers anymore, just questions. Am I becoming what I fought against? Is this empire, this power, changing me in ways I don't see? Remember the lesson of being forgotten, Eliza. It whispers. Its voice like the rustle of wind through the new rooftop garden. A new challenge is coming. It will test whether you truly remember. I wake up, a shiver running down my spine. The lesson of being forgotten. What was it? That it's a kind of power? That it lets you move undetected? Or was it something simpler, something about empathy? About knowing what it feels like to be invisible and vowing to never make anyone else feel that way? I look out at the city lights sprawling beneath me. My city now, my empire. But the ghost of Eliza Harlow, the forgotten girl, she's still in there somewhere. And I need to make sure I never forget her. The grand opening, Harlow Enterprises, the new global headquarters, the old Vertex building reborn, shining, ours. Employees are streaming in, a river of excited faces. They're getting their new badges. The Harlow logo, that ubiquitous H, prominent. Their names, clear and bold beside it. A small thing, a name badge. But it means everything. In the lobby, I unveil the wall of contributors, every name. From the founding team, my beloved forgotten innovators, to the newest intern, to the custodial staff who keep this place running. Every single person who has made Harlow Enterprises what it is. Their names, etched in gleaming metal, a testament, a promise, no one forgotten. And then a surprise. Richard Vertex, older, humbled, or maybe just defeated. He's at the edge of the crowd. He requests a private word. We end up in what used to be his office, my office now. The view is still stunning. He doesn't apologize, not really. But he admits it. The culture at Vertex. How it systematically erased people. People like me. People who didn't fit the mold, who didn't play the game, who were too quiet, too different. Power, he says, his voice raspy, makes it easy to forget where you came from, Eliza. Be careful. A warning, or maybe a strange kind of peace offering. Then, crisis. It always comes, doesn't it? A vulnerability. In Mnemosyne. In my system. A sophisticated, deeply hidden flaw that could, potentially, allow for the manipulation of identity records. The very foundation of everything I've built, threatened. It's a nightmare. I gather my core team, Devin, Anya, the old guard. We meet on the roof garden, the place where I stood with that tablet all those years ago. The wind still whips up here, but it's different now. It feels energizing, not threatening. The solution isn't easy. It will mean dismantling part of what made Harlow so successful, so ubiquitous. It will mean admitting we're not infallible. It will mean sacrifice. The debate is fierce, market share versus mission. Some of the newer executives, the ones who came on board when we were already a giant, they argue for silence. Keep it quiet. Develop a patch. Deploy it secretly. No one needs to know. Protect the stock price. Protect the brand. And there it is, the test, the entity's warning. Am I becoming what I once fought against? Am I now the one trying to erase, to conceal, to protect power over principle? Richard Vertex's words echo in my mind. Power makes it easy to forget. I look at Devin. He knows what I'm thinking. He's always known. No, I say, my voice quiet but firm. The debate stops. All eyes on me. We tell them everything. Transparency over profit, mission, over market share. We announce the vulnerability, publicly. We provide temporary workarounds. We dedicate all our resources to a permanent, open-source fix. The stock tanks. Pundits predict our downfall. Competitors circle like vultures, but then something else happens. Users, experts. They praise our ethics, our honesty, our courage. The crisis, it doesn't destroy us. It strengthens us. It reminds everyone and reminds us what Harlow Enterprises truly stands for. The story comes full circle. In the new headquarters, a fresh batch of employees is getting their orientation. Young, bright-eyed, eager. A young programmer, not much older than I was when I first walked into Vertex, receives her badge. Her name, clear and proud, next to the Harlow H, a symbol now, not just of identity, but of integrity, of being seen, of being acknowledged. Later, I'm on the roof garden. Sunset. The city spread out before me, a carpet of glittering lights. I remember the desperate woman who stood here all those years ago, ready to throw it all away. How far I've come. How far we've all come. Devin joins me. We stand in comfortable silence for a moment, watching the sky turn from orange to purple. We did good, Eliza, he says finally. Yeah, I say, we did. A hesitant cough behind us, a new hire, young, nervous, but with a spark in her eye. A spark I recognize. Excuse me, Miss Harlow, she says, her voice trembling slightly. I have some ideas I'd like to share. She extends a hand. My name is Sarah Chen. I smile, a genuine warm smile. I take her hand, and I make damn sure to remember her name. Sarah, I say, I'd love to hear them. Years, they pass as they always do, faster than you expect. Harlow. It's a word now, a verb. to Harlow someone. It means to give them proper credit, to acknowledge their contribution. It's a standard. Being Harlowed, it means your identity, your work, your digital self. It's secure. It's yours. It's a legacy I never could have imagined. I'm older, still vital, they say. I've stepped back from the day-to-day. Devin runs the ship now, mostly, and he's brilliant at it. I'm the ethical compass, the keeper of the flame, the ghost in the machine in a different way now, the entity. It appears one last time. Not in a dream, not in a hallucination, but in my garden. My quiet, peaceful garden. It's all its forms at once, and none of them. Just a presence, a light. We are the forgotten, it says, its voice a symphony of whispers from across time. All of us. The builders of pyramids whose names are lost to sand. The artists whose masterpieces are credited to their masters. The scientists whose discoveries were stolen by louder voices. We are the chorus of the erased. And I understand. My legacy. It's not a company, not a technology. It's a shift. A fundamental change in how we see each other, how we value each other, how we remember. I'm visiting a school. They're teaching digital citizenship. Harlow-verified curriculum, of course. A young girl approaches me afterwards, small, quiet, with big, observant eyes. Sometimes, she says, her voice barely a whisper, I feel invisible. I kneel down to her level. I look her in the eye. What's your name? I ask. Lily, she says. Lily, I repeat, making sure the sound of it settles in my mind. The world will know your name someday, Lily, if you want it to. Or you can change the world quietly. Sometimes the quietest voices have the most important things to say. Either way, what matters is that you know your own worth, that you never let anyone erase you. She nods, a solemn little nod, then she holds out her tablet. Can you sign it? I take it. And as I sign my name, Eliza Harlow, I see it. The small, stylized H in the corner of the device. It's on almost everything now, the brand, the mark. The name that grew from a forgotten name tag, from a desperate act on a lonely rooftop, to become ubiquitous. I hand the tablet back to Lily. She beams. I walk out of the school into the afternoon sun. My name is everywhere. On buildings, on screens, in conversations. It's a strange feeling, to be so thoroughly seen. I remember a time when it was nowhere at all, when I was nowhere at all, and I smile. Because the ghost is still with me. And she reminds me, every single day, to keep seeing the ones who are still fighting to be found,